Bruce, buddy, welcome to the show.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Anytime. This, so, apologize everyone viewing who's used to seeing the usual backdrop. Due to the time of year, that place that I record at, there's been a lot of rooms that have been filling up, studios for me, that we managed to make it work. Shout out to Max Lacroix for getting us a room. A bit smaller than what I'm used to, but we'll make it work.
Yeah, it's pretty damn small, man.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Like, this is it right here. It's great. So, let's get into it. What inspired you to go back to school?
Honestly, I'd say my parents. My parents pushed me all the time to get an education. I wouldn't always do the best, you know what I mean? But, I'm still not exactly sure what I want to do when it comes to a career path, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I at least want to get some sort of, education any way that I'm interested in, so
right.
Education's education, a career's another thing, and people figure it out, and hopefully I'm one of those people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It is.
So, what was your process like then after high school?
After high school,
Yeah.
I went right back into right back into school, right to Laurentian, right? And I went into political science. I was doing okay at first, but I have my own mental struggles, and that's kind of when it started to really have its uprising, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I ended up having to withdraw from my program, my poli-sci program, and I ended up going to the hospital. And so I didn't go back to school for a while, and then more recently I came back to school maybe like last year or so, and I'm here now just basically picking up some pieces, you know what I mean, at Laurentian. So that's just how it's going, and I'm just trying to make it, trying to do it, trying to pass, I guess, trying to move forward with my life, you know what I mean? Progression, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Nice. So what was talk us through the mental the mental and the health stuff that went on. What was that like? Because you were hospitalized. You were saying you had it must have been pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm bipolar, BPD, so it's just my moods and my medication. I wasn't on medication. I guess I needed medication, right, because of how severe and intense I have, this mental disability, you know what I mean? It's actually very severe, so it's like I'm on, even today, heavy loads of medication, and it's hard for me to even deal every day, because who knows how I'm gonna feel one minute or another, but, I've gotten, I used to be way worse than what I am now. I'm not even as bad, but it's still hard to control certain things, and not everyone understands, and it's hard to understand, you know what I mean? So, the process is just with my mental health is ongoing, and so.
What's that like then? So for people who don't understand, I have a very thin surface level understanding of what people with bipolar, how they react to things, and kind of what it is, but what's it like?
Well, I guess with the way I feel, I have these two different states, basically different states, where it's like depressive and then manic.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, how severe I have these problems, it's like these feelings and these emotions will come almost out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Not all the time, but you know what I'm saying? Almost out of nowhere, So that's it.
Okay. What's the difference between depressive and manic?
Depressive,
you're self-explanatory.
Technically, a depressive state, you're feeling depressed at all, and it's very, it's not just I'm depressed. You're actually, you have that actual real symptom of depression, right? Obviously, no shit, but manic is basically maybe say I'm having these thoughts that are going off, and I'm not I'm not calm, or that it's a little bit hard for me to put it into terms right now. But
Right. Can you give an example then?
Like say my thoughts are just like I have these like constant thoughts that don't stop, I guess.
Right,
maybe,
okay. That
and
makes
it's
sense.
kind of just.
No, it makes sense.
And then my reaction is manic. Like I can't really like. I'm having a little bit of difficulty with that
Right.
now, but
No, no
you
worries.
know what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, so what you're saying then, from what I'm understanding, maybe to help like convey what you're saying to the audience as well, is so manic, you have thoughts and then you react out loud to the thoughts in your head, or
I guess that's
along those somewhere around there.
Sort of way to put it into perspective.
Okay, yeah, because I'm trying to comprehend, and not sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know. I guess I'm just. I don't know. My brain's a little bit. It's the weekend. It's the weekend. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one. I'm a little bit off there.
No worries.
I don't know. I'm having trouble explaining manic right now. But,
It sounds like it's not. Either way, it doesn't sound like great. Like it sounds like
No.
pretty difficult to deal with.
No, let's just put it. Let's just say it sucks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe on a better day, I can actually explain that. I don't know why I'm so,
Yeah, I get that.
kind of dunce right now with that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Nice.
So.
Because that sounds pretty like intense. And then it got you to where you had to pull out of school.
Yeah, I was in the hospital with a bunch of other people, right? And all these other people. It was like the intensive care unit, but it wasn't exactly like the hardcore intensive care. It was like I was obviously supervised, but the people with the much more, severe schizophrenia or whatever were at the other side on the same floor, and there was doors between us, right? But people in my wing were still, they got their own serious issues too, but it's based on the behavior, right?
Right.
So I was in there with people that had the same problems as me, and in a way, that experience was beneficial, because I was able to learn a lot of things about people and how how they're dealing with their stuff, and
right.
Some people have these similarities. So that was good, but I mean, it's another part of it was like I didn't want to. I couldn't go outside. You know what I mean? And
You felt trapped.
Yeah, and the way it happened, it was a series of events that made that happen. I had to deal with the police with that. Because let's just say I kicked my girlfriend's door in at that time because it was just some crazy fighting stuff, and I kicked her door in and I was on Bancroft, right? And afterwards, like I got a ride out of there by my buddy, and afterwards the cops came and they basically forced me to go to the hospital because there was already stuff going on with myself and my relationship. It was some bad times, and I felt like like maybe she put me there, my parents or the cops put me there, on to mess me up or whatever. But I mean that helped with my diagnosis too,
Right.
So, but yeah, I guess I could just say the experience was good overall. You know what I mean?
Right.
But,
you came out in a good way. You didn't it didn't hurt you.
No.
When you came out of it, you're like, you know what? It's done. It's in the past. I've learned how to manage it better, and you can move forward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then obviously, even after that, I still had so many like my own difficulties dealing, right?
Right.
But it's still that was like the beginning of me starting to become who I am now, I guess. Obviously, it's not sunshine and rainbows, you know what I mean, every day. Like I was saying, it's hard as hell every day, to even move forward, like to even get up like for breakfast, or even if I get up I can't even eat breakfast or something, I feel like crap or so. I don't know, it's just
Right.
I don't know, it's not even It's a lot, man. It's
Yeah,
a
it
lot.
sounds
I can go and tell you
Fuck.
stories about, you know, just different things, and I look back even, I'm like, why did I do that? But then it's like, I know
Right.
why, you know what I mean? There's a
Yeah.
reason why, so.
Do you have one out of those stories that you have in your head that you could tell? Do you have one that you kind of took the most from?
When it comes to like my mental health.
Sure, yeah. And then we'll move forward.
I guess, I mean, on Nesbitt, I live in a nice apartment on Nesbitt, right?
Right.
And it was like a condo, and
Oh, sick.
I'll just basically say like this was part of when I was with my girlfriend,
Right.
and it's not like a super like big story, but let's just say a lot of times cops have dealt with me having these freakouts and extreme intense, you know, situations with me being aggressive.
And that would be the manic part of it?
And I guess you could say that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I get that. I get it now. I get it, because it's either that or depression.
Yeah,
It's kind of like you have one of these two options to pick, and it's almost like that's the one that you were given.
But exactly. It's almost like the
Right.
options pick you.
Yeah,
right.
I like that.
In Soviet Russia, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't even know, but yeah. But yeah, bro. Where was
Yeah. And buddy's fucking comes up to me. He's like, it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit further.
it happens.
Yeah,
It's bad.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck him. So, yeah, okay. Like the option chooses you.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much.
Damn, that's frustrating, dude.
Oh
That's
no,
annoying.
it's
So.
it's hard to do. It's hard for me to do life. I manage it. I try to manage it every day though. Like I'm still alive, you know. So that's what matters, you know. It's
Right.
about keeping a good head on your shoulders perspective. I mean, it could be worse, you know. It could be a lot worse.
Right,
you know?
it could. Like, because it almost wonders, like, manic, yes, but luckily no one's got hurt.
Yeah, at least I
Like,
didn't become
hurt.
Arthur Fleck there and put some makeup on my face and
Yeah.
stab some bigger guy in the neck and whatever, you know. I don't know.
Shout out to the Joker movie.
Yeah, man, that was a great
Real
movie. Shout out to
stuff.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Man, he's such a good actor. I hope he wins an Oscar for that movie.
Oh, I know. I hope he.
some part of that movie's got.
I hope he takes Robert Downey Jr.'s Oscar opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Who
I
Robert
mean,
Downey Jr. win it for?
he almost won it the other year there. Well, when Heath Ledger, like I don't know, what was it, almost 10 years ago?
That was a day ago. Yeah.
When Heath Ledger won it, Heath Ledger beat him to it, right?
Oh yeah.
So with his Joker, right?
Right.
So if Joaquin can beat Downey,
Yeah.
that would be nuts, man. Two Jokers beating Iron Man.
Right.
At that, beating them at the punch with the Oscars.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah. Take that, Marvel.
Yeah, man. DC hasn't been doing very well with the films.
Nope.
Shout out to the Marvel Cinematic Universe is cool too, but
Yeah. No.
I'm definitely a big Batman fan and everything
myself as
else,
well.
you know. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
For sure. So, with that being said, and referring back to the manic states and how the reactions kind of take place, then I think so. Moving forward, take it with everything you've taken away from that. What do you think has like? What do you think of you? What have you learned the most with the aftermath of all those situations? Like, what's something that you've taken from it?
I look completely stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I look with a lot of the situations with me, you know, starting a scene or in public or with, you know, the police
That's a good point.
having to come, you know, it wouldn't just be necessarily my fault for, you know, the police having to come. I'd be fighting with whoever, like my girlfriend, I mean, or even at my parents, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I would look like an idiot, you know, and it changes you know, it could change people's perspective of you. And
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
with the person I want to be, you know, I don't want to be viewed like that. But you know, it sucks when I have to fly off the handle, right?
Right, and the problem is you
And-
probably can't control it.
Yeah, and I've learned, you know, it can eventually get me in trouble, you know, because the Mental Health Act and whatnot.
Right.
People, it's harder for people, you know, to necessarily get charged right away based on certain occurrences, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I've gotten off the hook a lot, you know, maybe I should have even been charged for certain things or you know, God knows what, you know, so.
God knows what could have happened.
Yeah.
But
Literally.
yeah, it's crazy. But so then, with that being said, what was that kind of like after you left the hospital? After all this took place, then what happened? Did you like just work a lot? Decide to go back to school? Did you just then go back to school? How did that kind of take place?
I really started to. I basically didn't go back to school right away.
Okay.
I mean, I just kind of sat around for a while and, you know, smoked a bunch of weed. Just kind of
Really?
had like my own kind of roller coaster of stuff, whether it be crap or,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
I was really I was thinking a lot though too. So, but
Mhm.
you know, yeah. I mean, it was. And then I was like gradually getting ready to go back to school. I still had some difficulties, but here I am trying to, you know, be in school right now. So.
Right. And how have you been like better with the episodes and everything?
Overall, especially
Like
ever
since,
since, you know, like the start and, you know, even a little after, I've, you know, gotten better with handling it. You
Okay,
know what I
that's
mean?
good.
So
That's awesome, dude.
that was alright. You know, it's alright, I guess.
Yeah.
And
That's really good to hear, though.
what I have to do is also stay away from beef with people or, you know,
Okay.
people trying to, you know, start shit because I've been the one to, you know,
You'll go off
freak
the
out
rails.
even, and
They
you know,
won't.
my, not freak out, but my reaction, you know, and what I'll do to say something, you know, that's just, it has something to do with, you know, me being BPD and bipolar at the same time,
Right.
like my anger problems, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so that's
Right.
just kind of shitty,
So that's kind of, so then an example, if I were to just like, yo, come on, Bruce, like, you know, like just antagonize you to the point where it'd probably take a while for me, because I don't, like, couldn't do that. I'm just not like, I'm not much of a, come on, huh?
Yeah,
That's not really, I don't like that. It's kind of boring for me. I don't get
Yeah.
much of a kick out of people's reactions.
No,
Not
me
like that,
neither.
but
Yeah.
I think, so then what you're saying, if like people go at, like they're just constantly just won't fuck off, then.
Oh yeah, and even with the way I am too, a lot of times it won't be, you know, it won't take that long
Oh
for
shit.
somebody
eh?
to piss me off like that, and then I go and
Oh.
and say or do something that is maybe you can say it uncalled for,
Probably,
but
most likely
but
is.
at the same time it's just that's
It's
just
like-
who I am.
It's like that's gonna be the
Yeah.
reaction. That's gonna be the consequences of what.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's the mentality. Like, I mean, I don't have like this messed up mentality where I think I'm all tough or anything, but I just can't deal. Like,
Yeah, I
I
get
can't
it.
deal with nobody's bullshit, especially no more because
And that's not
I've
like,
had so much bullshit freaking thrown at me.
Right.
Like I was Carrie in that Carrie movie, standing on the stage. And all that freaking whatever the hell they poured on her. What was it, pig blood or something like that?
yeah, I think so.
And she, like, you know, she killed everybody in the whole room there, remember?
Yeah.
The freaking gymnasium, like, shit. Like, yeah, I've had that. I've had shit poured on my head. That's how I feel. So that's how I feel, so.
Right. That's right. So it's kind of just, it's the fact that that's just how you're gonna react.
Yeah.
It's not really something that
Oh,
they
yeah.
control. It's not really something you can.
Yeah, and I mean, it's almost like my mental illness does have an effect on that, but
Right.
it started somewhere. I find it started with people within my social environment
right.
getting to me. and I've developed this kind of perspective, like, if you understand, like,
Yeah, absolutely.
where it's like, fuck you, you know what I'm sorry.
Yeah, I get it.
Where it's like, screw you, you know what I'm saying?
We're on the internet, it's fine.
Yeah, like, I can't deal, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
get
will
that.
say something, I don't, like, even if someone's, like, 600 more pounds bigger than me, like, I will do something, I will stand for myself now. Like,
it's just a reaction you're gonna have.
I used to be scared even of some people, like, especially in, like, I'm not, like, a big guy, like, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm not scared, like, no more, you know? And, like, you can't be scared of shit, but, like, I still, though, I still will, you know, snap. Like, I'll snap. You know what I mean?
It's just gonna be like a reaction you're gonna have.
Oh yeah,
so
like
then almost like rationality would go kind of out the window.
Yeah.
You're just gonna
Your judgment, you'll have an immediate lack of judgment.
Because I'm sure right now, like, you seem like pretty aware that that's how you're gonna react. So then what you're saying is, right now, like, because you seem like that, like, okay, this guy's massive. If he can fight, like, I probably shouldn't react the way, but if he's gonna piss me off, that's just how it's gonna happen.
Oh, I'll still fly off the handle, man. And if he ends up freaking, if I get punched out or hurt or stabbed or jumped, then that happens, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll go down fighting. I'll go down.
Right.
It doesn't matter. That's just the way it is. But I want to be able, like, I always want to stand up for myself, even because I don't know. That's just how it is. I feel like just, you know, people. I wouldn't say people made me, you know, nobody made me that way, but, you know, some events in my life affected this right now, you know what I mean? That's how it goes. That's how humans are, too. Like, you know, that's just how it goes. And, you know, so, like, if you're in Africa, like, and, you know, you gotta deal with all that shit, like, you know, it's just, everyone has their own life, even, you know, that's what I mean. I'm not gonna say some shit about African people, but, like, anyway, yeah. But, fuck. Yeah, I'm a little bit under the weather right now with, you know, my brain, but it's all good. I'm good still.
Okay. Yeah, so then we'll fast forward. So who overall has, with everything you've done so far, and then we'll cut to tragedies and stuff, but who's inspired you the most? Or who's one person who's, to word it differently, who's one person that's had the biggest impact on you? I like that one. We'll stick with that one.
You're talking like
impact.
Immediate people in my life, like
have to be.
whether it could be anybody.
Somebody's had the biggest impact on you.
Okay.
Because someone could come into your life for like 5 minutes, and it could just give you a little perspective shift, and that could be what changes everything, right? That's what I mean. So, something like that. So it doesn't have to be somebody, but just who's had the biggest impact on you?
Yeah, well, honestly, man, I'll be honest. Probably my father. You know what I mean? He's a really smart man, and he's taught me a lot of things. I mean, some people even think that, in elementary school, that I would sound like my dad when I talk. Like, you know, I wouldn't say something that every kid would say, you know, or something. Because, I mean, my dad would tell me whatnot, and, you know, my dad would help me even with, like, math. Like, he was really good, like, with stuff. He's even helped me pass, like, high school, man, because I was kind of, like, a big stoner hard, and he actually, like, basically last minute, he, like, basically saved me from failing in grade 12, like, and even, you know, because I was honestly, like, and that's when I wasn't diagnosed with nothing or whatever, but I mean, I still passed my classes on my own, but he had to, you know, give me all of my hours, for example, or whatever. I don't even care if I say this on the internet.
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, he was gonna get at me, but he had to sign off my hours, you know what I'm saying? And,
awesome.
Maybe 1 or 2 classes he had to negotiate with the teacher. Not negotiate, like, it's not like he's gonna pay off anyone, you know what I mean?
Right, you just had to be like, hey,
but, like, the teachers, like, you know, had to take in
it.
Yeah, like,
talk to them.
Had to take into consideration, like, I guess maybe, like, I was going through some stuff or whatever, you know, I guess, you know, some, like, teachers were lenient on me too, so, like, I'm lucky, I'm just lucky, like, you know what I mean? I took an extra year in high school too, so, you know, yeah.
Nice, dude. So, with all that being said, what getting back to school, and then when you ended up getting into school, why'd you pick the program that you did? Because you're in criminology now, right? With a minor in psych. Is that
well, right now I'm trying to like not entirely. I want to go to like major psych and then minor crim.
Oh, okay.
But like technically, yeah, I guess you could say I'm in criminology right now. It's going okay, you know, but I chose poli-sci because I've always been interested in, you know, government, you know, different forms of government.
I'm gonna call you out on the spot. Not who'd you vote for, but did you vote at this election?
I honestly, I didn't vote. Okay.
Why is that?
I didn't vote because what people have to realize, like I voted other times. Don't worry.
Okay.
Like I'm not
just
like
never
someone
voted.
who's just never gonna vote. I was actually gonna vote that day though, and I was like, oh crap, like I didn't vote. You know, I didn't get to get out there. You know what I mean? But
Right.
But then I realized also, and I've always kind of preached this: no matter who will be in power, you know what I mean? No matter who will be in power, no matter who's got the say in this or who's got the say in that,
Right.
there's always going to be stuff like lobbying and you know, some sort of something shady going on, or
Not wrong.
someone just people complaining, mass amounts of people complaining about one thing. You know what I mean? That's always gonna happen, man.
I like
it's
that.
always gonna happen. Like it doesn't matter if it's Trudeau or that Muslim guy, the Muslim candidate, whatever.
Okay. Xin, was it?
I don't even know. I don't even know. But honestly, well, it was Trudeau that won, right?
Yeah.
Technically, it was the Liberal Party, and
Yeah,
he was
they
NDP,
won-
right?
Yeah.
Honestly, before the election, even I looked at it and I was like, okay,
Yeah, Trudeau.
the country
yeah,
is
yeah.
not going to elect someone that is like we weren't ready for someone
That
to be-
different.
to have a turban and all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
to be in that position of power
I
in
understand.
our country. Like
Right.
that's how I feel. Like people would be like, no, like you know, we originated as a Christian Catholic kind of state. You know what I
Right.
mean? So in a sense.
I get that.
So that's more embedded in our culture than you know, on a more national scale, on a more continental scale, and yeah, you know, with people, the way people, you know, want to treat people and think of people, you know, I don't think we were ready for him to be in power anyway, you know. So I had a feeling Trudeau was just gonna, you know, so that's also kind of why I didn't vote, you know, because I also kind of knew what to expect, but then also, like I said, there's always gonna be a problem with anything.
Right.
There's never not a problem.
Yeah,
you know?
I see what you're saying, and also to your point, Bruce, there's not no matter who wins, like you said, mass amounts of people complaining
Oh yeah,
because you
can't
can't please everybody. It's
and then
bullshit.
there's gonna be politicians as well and whatnot, like you know, that are gonna
Yeah.
participate in lobbying and you know, take money from corporate, you know, interest groups, you know, and all that kind of stuff. There's gonna be something that they say they're gonna do, but then they don't do it very well,
Yeah.
or they don't even end up doing it at all.
Right, or they don't finish it.
And then they make an excuse like, "Oh, this is, you know, why, you know, they try to say something
they'll
about
put
the
it off on
process."
something,
Yeah, you know, so
I get it.
that's just how it goes. Like,
So this kind of year, you were like, you know what, fuck it.
yeah,
But
man.
here's the thing: are you gonna complain about how everything turned out because you didn't? Because most people will be like, well, if you didn't vote, you can't
Oh no,
complain.
honestly, I've never even I've never really complained.
Right.
Like I've never complained. Like I've
Right.
seen other people complain. Like, you know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
why I'm saying, like, there's always gonna be an issue somewhere when it comes to someone being especially in
that
a
position of power.
especially in a parliamentary position. You know what I mean? In our country,
Right.
as you know, being our prime minister,
Right.
you know, or being someone in, you know, a position of power.
Right, I get you.
So
Right.
that's it, you know. So.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's like if you take like a group of like between you and I, if we were to say like just you and me, and that's how many people are in this country, just the two of us.
Yeah.
And we go, okay, I have to run. I'm running this, and this is what my platform is. You're running whatever you're running, and that's your platform.
Yeah.
And you run yours, I run mine.
Yeah.
But now there's 5 people. You, me, and 3 other people.
Yeah.
Those 3 people will have to vote now on which one of us gets it, right?
Yeah.
And then with 10 people, it may becomes a bit easier because all the people are interacting more. But I think the political system gets more out of control and tougher to deal the more people are involved.
Yeah.
Right? Because like if like we're so if it's three people, right? You, me, and someone else. That person votes for you to lead. I don't have anyone else. Like, what am I gonna do if it's the 3 of us in a fucking city, right? I'm gonna be like, well, fuck this. It's like, no, he voted for you. That's fine. Now let's all work together to make what you're. Because it's honestly, at the end of the day, you're not doing it to benefit your pockets. You're doing it to benefit the whole of the country.
That's right. That's right.
Nobody wants to run. No one runs on the platform of like, hey, so we're gonna fuck this country up.
Right, well,
we're just gonna fuck it up less than that person, less than that person, less than that person.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's how they're all running it now.
Well, yeah,
It's a
exactly.
frustrating thing.
It's a bureaucracy.
100%.
You know, and corporate interests will fill these people's pockets, you know, and certain things will go down the way they go down, and not everyone's gonna agree about things, and corruption will be there. Politics is a big topic of conversation, and people have, you know, opinions that could be anything, you know.
Right.
So
I get you.
It's a very big topic, I guess, but I think Trudeau, honestly, I'll just say I think Trudeau ain't that bad when it comes to him being out there as the prime minister, you know, with his administration, you know what I mean, with his cabinet, or whatever you want to call it. You know, I think he's all right. When you think about it, Canada, you know, we have marijuana that is legalized now.
Shout out.
So they think about how revolutionary that is on an international level, you know. So and
States.
There's a lot of beneficial things, you know, that come with the legalization of marijuana. And,
okay, like what?
Well, think about the crime rate, for example, right away. You know, like people were getting, you know, charged or whatnot when it comes to possession or
you can have the smallest amount,
you know. And now there's more ways for you to acquire it and everything too, right?
I get that.
Obviously, like, you can go to High Life or Canna Cabana here, you know what I mean, and pick out whatever you want. But weed and hemp, for example, like, it's not unhealthy. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not like, I mean, it depends who you are. Like, if you're stupid already, weed will keep you stupid and make you more stupid.
Right.
You know
like,
what I mean?
I have some pretty intelligent friends of mine who I train with. You know who you are, and like they smoke weed and they smoke weed often. And they'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. They like to self-medicate.
Yeah.
And they when they do, it's that they're fine. Like, they're smart people.
Oh, yeah.
Really intelligent people, actually.
Yeah.
Shouldn't just say smart, but they're really intelligent people. They still got their wits about them.
Right.
They can still do the basic fucking functions and stuff. Like, you wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
Like, whether they were like whether they've just smoked or whether they haven't smoked in days.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that the way it affects certain people, like you said, right?
Yeah.
If you already have a shitty mindset, weed's just gonna
you're just gonna
keep you there.
Yeah, it's gonna degrade you some more.
But people who blame weed on becoming, it's like, if you're already a lazy fuck,
oh yeah,
it's probably not gonna help.
No, definitely not. I think
if you have an eating disorder, though, Smoke a lot of weed because that shouldn't be.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
dog.
yeah.
Healthiest food, but eat food.
I know, right? You're gonna crave some.
Yeah.
May not be broccoli and cauliflower.
Fucking potato chips and cookies.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
Fuck.
Jesus, but no, it also depends how you consume weed too. I mean, but
Yeah.
overall, like, there's scientific studies. I mean, there's no real statistically people that died, from consuming too much weed.
Yeah, not yet.
That's never happened.
Yeah, I don't.
You know what I mean? Like, if someone was smoking a bunch of weed, then they drank a bunch of booze and then crashed their car and died, that's mostly because of the booze,
like,
you know what I'm saying?
Drink and drive.
Yeah, but the weed also, depending on how you do it, it's not gonna help. You know what I mean? Too.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
But I'll be straight up. I've driven my parents' vehicle stoned as hell. I've driven someone's Cadillac really high. I mean, like it's nothing. It's
right,
it's nothing. But not everybody can. Not everybody comes down to the fact that not everyone is going to respond. Their body's not going to be the same as someone else. You know what I mean? When they're smoking weed or drinking or whatever.
Right.
Not everyone has the tolerance.
It affects you differently, right?
Yeah, man. Everyone's different. It affects your brain differently. It'll affect your chemicals differently, right? So that's what it is.
Right.
People got to realize that too. So.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, I can dive into why that's why weed should be legal or not, but another day. So, you mentioned when we were chatting about what we want to talk about on the show. You mentioned bullying.
Yeah.
Why did that pop in to your head?
I'd say I see a lot of bullying even today, like, not even in the same context as like high school.
Right.
Like, for example, just the other day, there's this guy, my dad back in the day, not back in the day, but people would call this guy the Screamer, and he would, I don't know if you've probably seen him around.
Yeah, dude.
He wears glasses, he's got
extra.
Yeah,
out there guy.
He thinks he's a fashionista type person or whatever, a fashion guy. But he's wearing, different colored suits. His hat is all glittery,
bright ass yellow.
Yeah,
suit.
yeah, he knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly.
But so we were at the bus station. I was at the bus station, and I was waiting there. I was having a drag of a cigarette, and he's not too far away from me, and there's two women sitting on the bench waiting for their bus, whatever, and he goes up to them and he compliments one of the women,
like a genuine compliment.
like an actual nice, it was a
You know
nice,
he said,
he said something. He was basically complimenting someone's plaid skirt or something.
Nice. I like your skirt.
Yeah, but it wasn't creepy. He was actually being more of
He's like, I like the
he sounded
pattern on your
sophisticated. Like he was actually trying to have a conversation, maybe a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. We don't live in North Korea, for God's sake, right? So basically,
shut up.
She's like, some women think those certain comments would be weird or something. I don't even know what she said. Something completely dumb that some dumb person would say. And he's like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to. Blah, blah, blah." He was being actually he was not trying to be weird.
He felt bad that he rubbed someone the wrong way.
Yeah, he didn't even. It's funny because he didn't make any effort to do that. Just people were immediately ignorant and wanted him to go away. Why? You could have just, those people could have just been a little bit nice, and then he was gonna go on and leave. And you know what I mean?
Just felt the need
because
you looked good.
Yeah, and it was only a brief moment. Why did those people have to be so ignorant?
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean?
What
What the hell is the point?
Yeah, it's pretty rude.
Yeah, and I felt pretty upset about that. So that's one thing,
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I'd be picked on a bit, and people would, talk shit about me, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever. When I was younger,
everybody.
everyone does
you know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah, but
It just hits people differently.
But like we were talking about my mental health,
Right.
It's those thoughts about people messing with me
Yeah.
and everything have come into my head, me just having my mental problems, right? Like, it's affected my perception even more, you know? Bullying
Right.
people, picking on people. And, like, I would see, like, I saw a video, for example, of this, it was this cop, and they were at, he was at an elementary school, and this 11-year-old, this 11-year-old girl, she was a black girl, apparently. I don't know what the hell it is, you know?
Like, what relevance
Police,
that has
yeah,
to the
exactly.
story.
No, I mean, like, it's kind of messed up because, you know, cops with black people, you know, dealing with, like, these aggressive things, but it has nothing to do with that. But he took this 11-year-old girl down for some reason. It had to do with, I thought it had to do with a weapon or something. I don't know what it was, but she wasn't doing nothing wrong. But he basically forced this cop forced this student, this like 11-year-old little girl, okay, to the ground and everything, and tossed, like, threw her around, basically trying to put her in cuffs or whatever. I don't even know what the hell. And it was insane. And she started crying and everything. She's like, no, like, leave me alone, like, I didn't do anything. Like, she wouldn't do anything. Like, you see tons of videos, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, with cops especially. But, like, I honestly, like, that is bullying, you know. And I'm like, well, what the hell did she do, you know
it's
what I
an
mean?
abuse of your power.
And I cried, man. Like, I actually started crying. I have these moments with certain things like that. I've always been, I've stuck up for my friends too, like, you know what I mean? I never like that. And I never even like it when someone's, you know, pushing my buttons, like tickling me or like fucking giving me a wet willy or whatever the hell, you know what I mean? And saying some dumb shit. Like,
Right.
I know when they're joking, but even when they're joking, like, I don't put up with it. Like,
Right.
it's not me, you know? Like,
Yeah,
I don't put up with it. I hate it. Don't pick on people. Don't fuck with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Right. It's like, just be sincere.
yeah, man, and that shit just, it's always on my mind. Like, I'm a very aggressive person, and I think, you know, I thought about, you know, doing some bad shit to bad people, even,
Right.
you know what I mean, and people who have affected me, you know, and just, it's all because of bullying in a way, you know. So bullying is something big still today, whether it be from,
It's probably worse
bullying's
now.
been happening for generations. Like, it's always a problem. Everyone's got a problem with somebody. You know,
Yeah.
bullying can happen at school, in a relationship,
True.
at work,
Right.
at home, everywhere. With your parents could be beating your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not feeding
Yeah.
you,
I understand.
not doing nothing for you.
Jeez.
Like, yeah. So
Yeah.
bullying, man, that's just, it's always gonna be a problem. And if I had money and all this kind of stuff, I would start, like, helping awareness groups,
Yeah. Like,
start doing some real stuff in society, you know what I mean, so I can contribute to society. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
that's something I think would be really interesting. One thing I've kind of wanted to do with this show that I do want to, like, go. That's cool that you touched on this, because this is my point I want to make. I want to do is I want to use it almost as, like, as a platform to bring awareness to stuff like this.
Yeah,
But-
I noticed in a way.
Thank you, man. And I'm trying to, like, with that, I want to, like, the vision for it, and I think the goal would be I want to use this to the point where somebody is like, hey, I want this guy to speak at my school.
Yeah.
Because then that's when I can come in and go, or say I fucking run it on, like, a Friday afternoon at like 2. I run like a 25-minute assembly, whatever, on bullying or whatnot. I can be like, hey, Bruce, Thursday, do you want to meet for lunch and go over some shit that, like, points I can make and things that, you know, stuff like that. People who have the impact on that.
Yeah.
Like, with certain guests I've had for certain things, like, I have, because I train martial arts, and I have some friends of mine at the gym who I know are like, every fucking kid should know this. Everyone. Because then it puts in a perspective of discipline.
Yeah.
And discipline equals self-control, and they go against, if everyone is disciplined and self-control, nobody has a need to pick on people, because you know that just doesn't equal a good outcome.
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
And if that's like, if I know it's like, hey, if I'm gonna fucking pick on Bruce and I'm just gonna start poking you and shit, right?
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Yeah. Right.
What do I get out of that?
Yeah.
You
No.
react, you flip out,
Yeah,
break my
get,
shit. Like,
yeah, all
I
you
don't
get
want
is me
that.
reacting, right?
Yeah.
All you get is me
get
reacting. That's
nothing
it.
good out of it.
Yeah, and then
Like,
it's just some.
What's the reaction? A couple minutes of entertainment at best. Like,
To
fuck
some
that.
people, yeah, maybe.
And it might not even be because they might get their ass kicked.
That's right.
You
That's
know?
the
Like,
other
it's
side
not
of
funny
it.
for me if like
Yeah.
you punch my face because I was an asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
it's like,
it.
oh, you got your reaction, but it's gonna fucking hurt.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of those things that like, that's like my own, like, to your point. That's what I'd like. I'd love to do with this show. Just go to fucking elementary schools, high schools, and be like, yo, raise your hand if you've been bullied. And everybody raise your hand, and be like, quit being a fucking idiot. You know?
Yeah.
Shit
Yeah.
like that. But to each their own, I guess. But it's just a matter of understanding, I think, why people do it.
Yeah.
And I think it comes down to insecurity at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Like, I
oh,
think
yeah.
everybody is all, like, there's nobody who isn't insecure about something.
Mhm.
I don't think.
Oh,
But
most definitely. Most definitely.
yeah, it's just a matter of, like, are you confident enough that if it comes to it,
Yeah.
and it becomes addressed, that you won't let it affect you.
Hmm.
That's all it is, right? It's like that, not letting your insecurities define you, I think is crucial.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So-
That's how you're supposed to live, man.
Right.
But we can't all do that. So.
No, I agree. You had a family relative pass away, correct?
Well, yeah. I mean, more recently, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say that was what 3 years ago, Canada's Day.
No, it's a great day.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about it because it was it's just messed up, like in a sense. But
It's like one of the best days, the best day of the year.
yeah. So I mean, I'll get into it real quick. My grandma passed away. That day was around 3 a.m. I guess, and I woke up suddenly, and then the night before she passed away, I had a weird feeling when I was about to go to sleep. When I was in my bed, I had this weird feeling. I remember I had this weird feeling. So I go to sleep, and then I wake up in the middle of the night, and my mom is screaming for her mom. You know what I mean? Like, you know, she's losing it. I'm like, what's going on? You know, because I didn't know exactly what she was saying at first, but then I realized she was crying out to her mom because she was gone, and I was like, what's going on? You know, and when I learned the news, I was like, it's almost like this was a dream because it's just like, it's like I just went to sleep, you know what I mean? And like I wake up and it's like the middle of the night and my my mom is screaming, you know, like mom, like, you know what I mean? Like it was it was horrible, right? Like
I believe it.
and I was like, what the hell? And at that point I didn't know what to think. Like I was like, okay, that didn't just happen, you know what I mean? So, and I mean, like I said, we were talking about it earlier, but I was, I know I seen her a couple days before she passed away. She had a big smile on her face, pulling up in the vehicle to her house. I'm right out front, telling me, because I was all dressed in red, telling me I looked like a fireman or something. You know what I mean? And I was like, what, you know, I couldn't really comprehend what was going on. And even at the funeral, I was just very straight-faced about it because, like, I thought, like, you know, I was mad about it almost, you know what I mean? Like, when is that gonna happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, what the
And so how that happened was she didn't really know that she had problems with her heart, like her cardiac,
like
her cardio system, or whatever you call it. Like cardiovascular, yeah. So we didn't know nothing about that, and she took out a life insurance policy. I forget how much it was, but it was a sum of money, right?
It was a good sum.
For for her, like out of her death, you know what I mean? If she died, my grandpa gets this, but no one knew that even. So that was a little bit weird, you know. So like, how come she took out a life insurance policy?
Yeah,
you know
she prepared.
Yeah. So and it was very recently before she died. So yeah, that was my Canada's Day, and my mom and my aunt, my aunt and my mother and my grandpa, they've really started to believe more in, you know, this supernatural type world. You know what I mean? And some stuff has occurred too. You know, like some weird stuff. You know, with that, and it's really upsetting. Like that she's gone, but you know, they like to think that she's still, you know, with the family. You know, and
what do you think?
I don't know what to think, you know.
Okay. Right.
I mean...
yeah, it's tricky. You don't know.
Yeah, I mean, my mom said... Because she would go see this medium with my aunt and everything. And I guess my grandpa went too at one point.
Right.
And apparently my grandma, like, beyond the grave kind of stuff. I don't necessarily know what to think about that, but what the person said, what about me, that my grandma apparently said about me, was that I'm going to be successful. You know what I'm saying? But like, you can't just believe it and not do anything. But you know what I mean? She says, you know, I'm going to be successful, but it's going to take a lot for me to manage, because of like who I am. You know what I mean? And
I can imagine.
And
just based off everything you already tell me.
Yeah, like that's what they're saying, but you know, who knows what anyone's saying, you know? So, but what it brought to me was like, you know, wow, like if that were to be true, I gotta make sure that happens. You know what I mean? I gotta be able to work towards that. You know what I mean? And make sure I am successful and whatnot. But and it's another weird thing about this supernatural stuff is right after she died, like that night, like the day she died, like the night after, like basically I was drinking. I went and drank and I did some drugs. Like I did a bit of drugs, right? And my mom she would ask me, she was like, Bruce, like, what do you do the day after Grandma died? Because apparently Grandma is displeased with you. You know, based on what the medium said, like she wasn't happy, not displeased, but she wasn't impressed because I went and drank and did drugs. But they weren't. It wasn't even. But the medium person didn't say specifically that it was.
Like why your grandma was upset.
Yeah, about with me. You know what I mean? But I told them, you know, and that's if that's that was, you know. So
it's like, whoa, that medium doesn't know you.
No, doesn't know me at all. Never met me. I've never even been there. It was always my aunt, my mom, and all that. So that's one thing. But you know, that was losing a relative, someone you love. It's hard for anyone, and it was really hard for me over a couple years after, especially, you know, maybe like 2018 last year and all that. Like from 2016 to 2018, it's been difficult for me. It's affected me, and it's been difficult for me to realize that I wouldn't see her again. I'm never gonna see my grandma again. You know what I mean? And then, you know, but life goes on. You know,
yeah, you just gotta keep living.
You know, you take them with you. You know, but that really affected even my whole perception of religion, even a bit, and faith, and you know, because like, am I supposed to, you know, what am I supposed to think? Like I don't know what, you know how when people die. You know, people will, whether they be a Christian or a Muslim or whatever, they'll pray and you know, they hope that they move on to this second plane of existence. You know what I mean? But who the hell knows? You know. So, shit. Yeah.
No, I understand what you're saying.
I don't know. What I'm saying is, I don't really agree with. Based on that kind of event, I don't necessarily believe in some sort of eternal divinity that's gonna, you know, give my soul some sort of salvation. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So I don't know what to think about that. Like we might just die and rot in the ground, and it's all black. Like you know what I mean? I don't know what to think. You know.
could
know,
just go to
so-
sleep and never wake up.
Yeah, so especially when my grandma died, it really affected how I think of just the universe, I guess. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
yeah.
So how do you, with that being said, how do you cope with everything then? Like, do you have any method of kind of expressing this instead of keeping it all boiled up and just letting that take over? Because you said, right, earlier, you're like, I was mad in a way. And if you let that anger boil over, then it could result in consequences, self-inflicted consequences that no one really wants for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you express, like, kind of...
A coping mechanism?
Yeah.
It's taken a lot of perseverance, I guess. Like for me, mentally, to cope. I guess, you know, read some like I have a bunch of comic books. Read some comic books. You know, I don't know. Maybe try to watch something funny on a show. You know what I mean?
Let's just distract your brain.
Try to focus on something important if I can.
Right.
You know, depending on how I feel.
Right.
There's a list, like, you know, it all just kind of, I figure it out as I go when it comes to coping.
Mm-hmm.
I just try to have faith and then just try to figure out where, you know, I have my dog at home.
Nice.
Bring him out, you know, he's a big husky, he's beautiful, and he definitely brings some light to my darkness like that, you know, so.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, man, those are
good.
things, a few things. Video games are okay, but you know, I don't play that much, I guess, overall.
Yeah.
Especially not as much as when I was a kid.
Right.
'Cause I mean, I'm 22 now, I'm almost 23, so
Yeah.
you know what it is.
Right. So now, how does I'm gonna plug you real quick, okay? So I'm gonna give you a plug. Just give me my plug. Where is it? Fuck, my buddy was on my SoundCloud and fucked it all up. Where is it? No.
It's Lartino.
Lartino. Hey. Okay. Dope. I was Latino.
What are you gonna do? The one I suggested?
I'm gonna plug you. So it's Lartino Gambino on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
To hear his latest rhymes, and to be honest, in your music, I feel that's one of the ways that you could, like, I can hear the expression being translated through what you're saying. I can feel like the passion for your word in the words that you have, and that's why I listen.
Okay. So I mean, I guess I sent you that one track.
So that was threatened.
Yeah. Okay. So that's mostly what you're talking about. Yeah. That was. I obviously, I mean, I wrote all that. Like, you know, if you're gonna do it, you write it. Like, you know what I mean. So, but yeah, no, I appreciate that because I was definitely every word, every verse, every lyric in that song on SoundCloud, on my SoundCloud, definitely was how I was feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was definitely how, it was me. You know what I mean? And I definitely expressed how I feel, and you know, I just wanted them to know me with my mustache and my goatee. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty real too. Like, out there, I wanted me some homies. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, you get what I'm saying. With those lyrics, like, yeah, that was just some real shit, like, for me, I guess, you know. And I'm working on real music that I want to put on Spotify with my group, you know, like RMG, Real Money Gang. We've got tracks collaborated, you know, we've all collaborated. We're a group, like, you know what I'm saying? We're a group, that's what I mean.
Right,
we've got songs together on SoundCloud. We got some views now, like, we got a few fans, you know what I mean? We're doing a lot more. We gotta perform. I guess we're supposed to, I won't get into the performance stuff, but we're supposed to have a performance, but we'll see how that goes. But we're on there. I guess we're supposed to perform in December.
Where?
At a food drive, I guess.
Nice.
I forget where it is, but
That'd be cool.
we're supposed to, apparently. So I'll just say, but
you're not the manager though. So
no, like, I'm not. like I have an idea of what's going on. I'll just say apparently we're supposed to perform with like our group and other artists, obviously, right? Because it's a bigger event, right? Charitable event.
True.
And we're a movement though, in a way. Like, you know, we're trying to, you know, especially me, we're trying to be, I guess, we're trying to inspire people.
What is the message?
The message
behind your music?
We'll sound aggressive and we'll sound, you know, we're trying to relate to people. Like, that's really what it is. You know what I mean? Like, so, like if you listen to some of our music, we'll say some stuff that isn't exactly like something nice to say about, or you know what I mean? Like, everyone has that sort of, especially with hip hop and rap music. You know, there's a lot of like negativity kind of vibe you get off certain lyrics.
Right, there's
depending on what
aggression
you're
to
saying.
it.
Yeah, we got some aggressive, but that song "Threaten" was definitely from, like, that was me only, obviously.
Right, that was you.
That was me from the heart a bit at the time, and I wasn't being all heart. But we know we rap hard. We're trying to be a lot more. What do you call it? Volatile.
Diverse.
Yeah, with our sound. That wasn't a good term, but no, we're trying to be a lot more. We're trying to grow, obviously, all the time, and you know, we care about people. Like it's not like we're not like trying to make ourselves look like the bad guys, but like we're trying to, you know, relate to people as much as possible. Very
like, you're trying to relate to that side of people that are just. And this is what I believe, just from what you're saying and what I've listened to, is you're trying to relate to people, because everyone has that, like, oh fuck it, man. Like, they all have that side of them, right? And you're trying to tap into that side that people have.
That's a good way to
and relate to that side. Because
like,
everyone has like an aggressive side where they're like, you know, you've had a shitty day, and like your boss yelled at you, and then traffic's slow on the way home. There's nothing good on the radio. You get home, your wife's mad, dinner's not, and it just adds up to the point where it's like everything's pissing you off, and that's what you guys try to relate to. You're like, hey, we've been here, we've done that. You're not alone. Just fucking work through it.
Yeah, well, you know, like my boy Brazy, like Brazy's got it tattooed on his hand, RFG with the symbol. You know, it almost looks satanic, but it's not. It actually, it's like a good luck symbol, right? But there's a track where the chorus is like, "Mask off, I'm ready to catch a case." You know what I'm saying? I almost think of it like someone, you know, really pushing people to the edge, you know? Like, say for example, I was like having a really crappy day at the office. A whole bunch of stuff happens. Someone does me wrong, you know what I mean? I feel like the song's called Mask Off, but it's like, mask off, I'm ready to catch a case. And I just picture someone just losing their mind, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm ready to catch a case, like I've had enough, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where we're at. Like, I'm trying to, especially my kind of persona, and even Brazy and Nick, like, we're trying to, you know, basically give off that impression, like, you know, we're going through stuff, like, you know, like we're not like we're not having it in society all the time.
What you're
and what we think, man, and
I like that.
For example, in one of my songs, I'm just kind of reciting a couple of lyrics, but like in a song, it's with Brazy and I. It's called Unchained. At the beginning, I do a little verse. It's a short little. So I do my little verse. And then Brazy does this chorus type thing. It's like, roll, trip, you know, get your fucking throat slit. Like, you know what I mean? Just some hardcore shit. And in the beginning, I'm like, you know, the beat drops, and I'm just like, too much aggression. I got no profession. I'm repping world peace. These people want beef. So it's like, I got nothing. Like, I don't have a job. Like, I don't have a career. I got all these aggressive thoughts. You know what I mean? I've been repping world peace, for example, with Cayenne, but I actually do want that kind of thing for the world.
You want that
but then there's there's people that start shit with me that want beef. So it's like this situation where it's like, you know, that's how we're at. Like it's like
we've never had an issue.
No.
But I know you have people who piss you off to create an issue.
And it's been since high school, since me jokingly started to do music stuff where it wasn't serious. Now it's actually serious.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You have a reason.
Yeah. And now Real Money Gang, that's RMG, that's my group. You know what I mean? It's myself, Brazy, Jared Lusk, Specs, you can call him Specs, Nick Colleen, Killer Colleen is his name. Talented artists, my boys and everything, we're all good, you know, and we're trying to figure out, you know, stuff and make a name for ourselves and you know, spread different messages along the same lines, like, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so we're trying to get out there and you know, we you know, we're not we're not out to sound dumb exactly, or you know, like we're serious about it. You know, we say how we feel. You know, we want to get out there. We want to maybe relate to people, and you know, like we want to.
Every type of music, I believe, relates to people in some way or another. Whether it's be like, not all your lyrics could resonate with me, but I'm able to understand and relate to the way we put it, where put it into context where I could understand it, right? Where it's like, I have a fucking shitty day. I'll catch a fucking case.
Exactly. That's kind of I try to make it in.
It's relatable. I like that.
Yeah, and we care about it, man. Like, we care about it. We give a shit. Like, and I'm writing bars every day, you know, and I'm thinking of different kind of way, you know, different kind of sounds that people would like, and for us to get even bigger too, and that's how it is. Like, you know, we want to appeal to people, and we're you know, we're getting there. We've done, you know, we've got some views, you know, and with, you know, a bunch of tracks, and you know, we still, you know, we want to get more videos out there, just be creative, you know, and we want people to appreciate our creativity too. Right. So you know what it is.
So yeah, dude, we'll get out of here in a couple minutes, but to start, before, I wanted to ask you, since I knew you were coming on, can you freestyle for me?
Oh, God, alright.
I want to do a beat, we can do a cappella, or if you want a beat, I can like try to beatbox, but my beatboxing is probably worse than like my little brother's rapping.
Alright.
Unless you want to like throw on a beat and just rap over it, but I think a cappella is a good fun way to go.
Yeah, might as well. Alright, okay, hold on.
What are you gonna rap about?
I'll just go with it. I'll just go with it.
Alright, I'll let you go. I'll let you go.
Okay. Hold on.
I love this bit. Oh shit.
Alright, okay. I've been trying to do it nicely, trying to get a wifey. People don't like me, I'll kick them out with my Nikes. That's how I feel, I try to keep it real. I ain't the man of steel, I'm just trying to get my meals, trying to get the dollars, trying to be a godfather, trying to guide the people, trying to get the good, not the evil. That's what I'm about. If you mess with me, it might just go south. I ain't in it for fame or clout. Let's just do this. Realness is what I'm about.
Hey, dude. I like it because you're wearing Nikes too. I looked down when you said the Nike line. I was like, oh shit. Nice, dude.
Word, G.
Unreal. Yeah, man. Fuck. I appreciate your time though, man. I really
man.
Do.
No,
I really do.
It was great.
A lot of perspective you have, and you have a lot of thoughts that I think really were able to be expressed here, and I really appreciate your time, and I hope when people watch this, they get a good sense for just kind of, because you're a very unique person.
Thanks, man.
You know what I mean?
Thanks,
like,
bro.
Between, like, I don't know, everyone's like, oh, I want to be, like, oh, I want to be a rapper, or I want to try this, you know. Not a lot of people can go through what you're going through and still maintain a positive outlook. And I think you're like fighting to keep that positive outlook going.
Yeah.
And it's noticeable, and I appreciate you, brother. So
yeah, man, you too,
thanks
bro.
again.
I appreciate it 100%.
Much
It
love.
was great being on the show.
Hey, yeah. Hopefully next time in the future, in a year or two, when you come back on again or something, we'll have a bigger, better studio.
Touch base.
Yes, sir. We'll keep in touch.
Good, man. It'd be great.
Unreal. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Subscribe. His
World peace. Real Money Gang.
all that.
Check our music. SoundCloud.
All that should be in the description below. Hit that subscribe button, the bell, the like, comment. Tell us what we can improve upon. Tell us what you'd like to see, who you'd like me to see, who you'd like to hear more from, what you'd like to hear us talk about. Appreciate your feedback. Appreciate the love. We out.